congrats first on another contract extension today. In the big picture of that, because it comes up every year, it seems like. Clearly, between recruiting successes you guys have had, the success you've had here over 12 years, but yet people keep asking about the future. You're very much committed to the future, and so are they to you. So just what is your kind of outlook with yet another contract extension and obviously some great successes you guys have in recruiting right now?
Well, first of all, I'm very appreciative of the support from the university. Outgoing President Schill, who was great to our staff and our program, and then Rob, who's been behind us, and the people who support us, So it's been a good 12 years. We obviously want to get back to the Final Four. We want to try to win a title, and that's always been our goal. And so, getting young men that want to follow that and having a staff that has that as a goal is what we're committed to. So, we just keep scratching and hope that we get a break and keep everybody healthy and make a run again. But really appreciative of the support, and I came here to coach as long as I could, and I enjoy it. And when you have great staff and good players to work with, it makes it fun coming to work every day.
It's early on the workouts, but have you seen any significant improvement by some of the guys?
Yeah, I have. Nate Biddle, first of all, and I was after Nate all last year. He and I had more conversations about playing harder, working harder. But I'm really pleased with his efforts. He's bringing it to practice, trying to play through some bumps and bruises, working on his body a little bit. So he's made a big jump. Dante's healthy, which has been a problem for him. Tendonitis when he got here his freshman year, tears his ACL as sophomore, doesn't get back till December, So in all fairness to him, we've never had an opportunity, first of all, for a summer. I've used it as an excuse, complaint, whatever, but 20 summer, we don't have anything because of COVID. Last summer, we were still shut down. We didn't get much done. And he was ACL surgery, so he wasn't doing anything anyway. We haven't got anything done the last 2 summers, and I think it's affected our team. And this is back to pre-COVID. We're back to having a great summer. Dante's healthy, flying around. Quincy's healthy. He was nursing knees last year. He didn't get anything done last summer. Will didn't get anything done last summer. And Will's been really good, trying to lead. So those 4 guys that are back, I've appreciated Waldo's efforts. He's done a great job. So, no, we got 7 guys coming back, and 7 scholarship, 3 walk-ons that are back, and those guys have been really good. They've tried to set a good tone, and so I think they've done a good job.
Had some coaching turnover too. The new guys in the program, also the return of Fish. Just your thoughts on your offseason with your staff and the additions you've had.
Well, I was really happy for Crutch, to get the job back at University of Nebraska in Omaha. I was really happy for Josh, to go with Kenny. Those guys, Crutch for only 1 year, but Josh for 12, and before that with Coach Kent, he's been here a long time, so he meant a lot to the program. So I was really glad for both those guys, and with that came some opportunities for us to look at our staff and see what we could do to to improve it. Put everybody in their strengths. It's changing. The landscape's changing. The recruiting's changing. And Chuck Martin, we hired from South Carolina. Armand Gates from Nebraska. Coach Fish, Brian Fish, will take over Josh's job. We hadn't replaced Robert McCollum, who did a tremendous job for us before he got the Florida A&M head coaching job. And so, I moved Kevin into that role. Kevin's got a great basketball mind, and, I just, to be real honest, I need more help, game development and player development, and I've had to spend more time recruiting and that I need to spend more time with the guys I got. And so I need Kevin to help me with that. Kevin's got a great feel for the game. He picking up tendencies on opposing players, teams. So I just felt like that was his strength. And so he and I are going to spend a lot more time in that area. And then, I've got 3 full-time recruiters now that'll spend more time on the road. Kevin was in that position, but kind of torn between going out and staying in. And so I just decided, Kevin and I have talked about this for the last 3 or 4 years. This isn't something that just came out of the blue. We've talked about it, as recruiting changed. And, I just never felt the time was right. And then when we lost Tony, I thought about it a year ago. But then with Crutch and Josh leaving this year, because Josh also, spent a lot of time with me watching film. And so with Josh gone, I just felt the time was right. So, and then we've got Cliff Spiller. Evan took a job back in Kansas, where he's from. He and his wife are both from Kansas. They went back to Kansas. So we hired Cliff Spiller as our new weight and conditioning coach from the Utah Jazz. And he's just been here a few weeks, but been very impressed with what he's done so far. So, like our staff, like I said, I've been fortunate. I've always had really good guys working for me. And Crutch was the first one that left right away. The guys usually come and stay for a while, but Crutch got tired of me really quick. But, Tony for 11 years, Josh for 12, Kevin's 20-some years, and Fish has been with me 15, 16 years now. So, we've been lucky,
Does Mike just kind of slide up the bench a spot, or how do you see this?
Oh, I don't get into any of that moving up the bench or moving down the bench or anything. Those guys they're all in it for the right reasons. They just want to win, So
kind of the big picture with that, Dan, that between the changes the NCAA is talking about, the transformation committee to lifting staff limits and those things, when you have multiple former assistants now in those capacities, is this part of a long-term plan on your part in terms of, like, when we saw you guys play Baylor last year, it was almost comical in that their bench was, I think they had more guys on the bench in suits than players. It was kind of ridiculous. But if they lift the limits, you could have seemingly a limitless staff. So is this kind of part of a long-term chess match you're playing here a little bit? To have assistants and other roles?
Here's the comforting thing. Okay, so like September recruiting, our guys will be back on campus the 15th of September. But it's a recruiting period. I'm going to be gone. That's home visits. So I'm gone a lot during September. Knowing that Kevin can run individuals and run stuff while I'm gone, because he knows our system is really good. Having Fish, who can be on the floor also if 2 guys are gone, knowing our system. And so, I'm not the smartest guy, but trying to figure out things that, how they apply to our team. And that's why, it's so important to have Kevin in that position, because if he was gone and we had new guys, the new staff, there's a lot of things we're doing that are new, but most of the stuff we're doing has been done in previous seasons, and Kevin's got a great feel for that, and so does Fish. So when the staff is gone, with the rules the way they are now, they can go on the floor and coach. So it does help us.
What have you seen from so far, and what do you hope to see in this Canadian trip with three-point shooting in particular, when that was such a point of emphasis and an area you wanted to address this offseason?
Well, first of all, we got to get Will some shots. You know, he's so we got to have some guys make some shots for him. You know, Brennan shot it really well. Rigsby, new player. Jermaine Couchenard is a good shooter. Nate's shooting it better. Quincy's shooting it a lot better. So, you know, I think we've got very capable three-point shooters. We took some questionable threes last year, which drove me nuts. You know, there's such a fine line there. You don't want to take guys' confidence, and you know, they got to have a certain degree of freedom. But we crossed that line a number of times. So, you know, shot selection, taking the good ones, getting the right people to shots, all part of it. But I think we've got good enough shooters, you know, and just got to get in the gym. You know, there's no shortcut to being a really good shooter. There's no shortcut. There's no quick fix. There's no, you know, you got to get your rear end in the gym and shoot hours and hours and hours, because that gives you confidence. You know you've outworked people. You know you've been in there, and nothing replaces that. So I've been fortunate, man. Kyle Korver, we've had some really good shooters over the years. Those guys have all been in the gym. There's one common denominator. They've all different sizes, and their shots look different, but one common denominator, they've been in the gym all the time.
What did you see out of Quincy getting those minutes for Team Canada this offseason?
Well, you know, the big thing, Quincy's healthy. You know, last summer, again, he didn't do anything until, he didn't even, the first 3 or 4 weeks of practice, he didn't do much last year in October, nursing his knees. And he's bouncing around really good now. So that's been really encouraging. And so, you know, he's gifted. You know, he's got to get on those boards. He's got to keep shooting through. I like it when he drives it. You know, he's got to get a little bit more comfortable doing that. Perimeter defense, you know, if we're going to play him a little bit more as a small forward more than a power forward, you know, with the size we got, it gives us some versatility. So, you know, trying to play him more at a small forward, you know, wing position rather than a power forward spot, you know, got to get a little bit more comfortable guarding on the perimeter. But, you know, I do like his attitude. He's really easy to work with, you know, and he wants to have a great year. He's really trying to get prepared, and Team Canada was part of that. You know, he spent a month with them trying to, you know, just work on things, and, you know, he's really worked hard since he's been back.
How much of a value is, I know the games are always going to be important, but just the practice time you get leading up to 6 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever it is, when the guys come back for the start of camp. But how important has this practice been for you?
You know, all I can say is, for the amount of money that we spend on this trip, I wish we could do it every year, every other year. I think it's great for the guys. You know, we only get 10 practices, not like we're killing them, you know, but you get 10 practices, you get together. Guys are excited about it, you know, and especially our 3 Canadians, you know, they're really excited about going back. So, you know, I've always loved the foreign trips. You know, we went to Spain, been to Italy since I've been here. This will be our 3rd trip. But I like the trips. You know, I think they're really good for teams. I think they're really good for growing the game. You know, going to Canada and playing in front of some folks. We're going to have a little reunion with some of our former players, and so, you know, I'm excited. I think the players are. We got just 2 more practices. We practice tomorrow morning and Thursday morning. Today's the day off, and then we take off Friday. And we're not gone very long. We're just gone, 9 days, Friday to next Saturday we get back. So play 5 games in 6 days. We're going there to play. We're not going there to sightsee. We're going there to play games. And so it should be a good trip.
The Canadians in particular, Dana, is there, because I realize that again, NIL and legislation, is there something that you hope is in the works by way of some kind of coordination to, because they can't receive funds while they're here?
Right in the States? No, not on this particular trip. The guys were back in Canada, so they had some opportunities, before they came. They were all on that Canadian team that was preparing, so they were in Canada until July. So they had some opportunities there to work on some things.
Bartholomew and Cousinard, I don't think we've spoken to you since those additions. Just how do they impact this roster, and just your thoughts on their additions?
Well, Keyshawn is really quick. Gives us a gear and explosiveness that our team was lacking. He's got to get a little better on the defensive end and on the boards. Even at his size, I think he can help us because he is explosive on the boards. But he is quick. He can get to a spot. He can get his own shot. He's got experience in our league. So, I told him just play as well against everybody as you did against us, so, but no, he gives us something we don't have. He's got a little pop to his game, a little quicker, and a little quickness, and a little quicker than some of our other guys. So he'll add something. And then Jermaine, and both the experience, for both of those guys. And and Jermaine's a little more powerful, 6'4", 6'5", good build on him. And again, Frank Martin, really good defensive coach. He's got a relationship with Chuck. So I think he can come in and give us stuff right away. So I think both those guys will help us. We need them to. Our perimeter numbers aren't great. So both those guys need to play, as well as Brendan Rigsby. Junior college transfer from Northwest Florida needs to step up and play right away.
Getting Will more shots. Does Keyshawn help?
Yeah, I think so. Matt. I think he can get into lanes, create. I think Jermaine can do that. Will's proven he can shoot 40% from 3. It's not like, well, we're hoping he can move up to there. He's done it. We got to get him shots. And that's, and he's done a great job running the show. He knows our system. We've added some things, but he picks things up really quick. His basketball savvy, Will really understands the game. And, the thing I want him to do is work on his body. He's got to get bigger. That's what the NBA people want. And I think it'd help him tremendously with us. And he's done a good job. He's worked harder this year in the weight room. But I think it's something, I just saw what a difference it made for Brooks and Bell and the guys who have really bought in, Pritchard, Duarte, guys that have bought into that weight room. Tyler Dorsey, it makes a tremendous difference. Just being the best athlete you can be. And, watching those guys lift, I should get my ass in there. But, it makes a tremendous difference. And I just want to see Will. I've been impressed with Dante's gains. When you see him, he looks bigger, better. But I think to be your best, you got to buy into all facets of preparation, and that's a big one. And I've seen some changes in Will there, and he's in there a lot more. I think he's liking the way he's kind of changing his body a little bit. So I think it'll just help him get in the lane and finish some more things. Be able to guard a few more things with strength. Doesn't have to put on a lot of weight, but wiry strong is pretty good for basketball.
Let's take two more. What's Tyrone's status at this point?
You know, he just finished his summer school work, and so, you know, we're going through the process of trying to get everything put together. Hopefully we'll get everything put together, you know, this week, and then be here after we get back from Canada.
And then I'd be remiss if I didn't ask Dana that it's the big story of the offseason. I realize it's more in the football lens, but you're the statesman of Pac-12 men's basketball, and the league is going to be changing here in the not-too-distant future. What are your thoughts of what do you want the future of the Pac-10 to be? Do you think expansion for, whether it's basketball only in something like Gonzaga or San Diego State or whoever, or something like that, or a 10-team conference and going back to an 18-game schedule is desirable? Or?
Well, obviously, it's way above my pay grade, so I have no idea what'll come, of all this. Personally, I'm disappointed because, I love the 12 teams. I thought it was good basketball. Travel was good. I thought it was good for our student athletes, for as far as travel and everything's concerned. So, it's going to change. I keep talking about we're in a changing environment, recruiting, NIL and everything. So now we're changing with this. I don't care. I'm just saying personally, what I need to worry about is having the best basketball team we can have. It's obviously not affecting our recruiting. People still, Pac-12, we play nationally, so it's not affecting that. And as long as it doesn't affect the players I can get and work with, what league we're in, where we're playing, I'm not going to make that decision, so I don't worry about it. Worry about those things you can control. I always talk to my team about that, so I probably ought to take my advice and worry about things that I can control or have a chance to control, and that's trying to get the best team we can in whatever league we're playing in. But the 10 teams, if we can work out, we do have the West Coast time zone. If we can work some details out, I do worry about other, our other programs here at the university. If we don't get the television revenue, I don't think football will suffer because we have to have football go. I don't think we'll suffer greatly, because, but some of the other programs that don't generate the revenue are dependent on, the TV money, and our athletic departments, dependent on the TV money to stay competitive. And so it is a concern in that regard. But again, we'll survive. University of Oregon, we'll be fine. Something will happen for us, whether it's stay, whether it's go. We want to compete. Our alumni, our people have made that obvious, that we want to try to compete at the highest level possible. So, I just don't think that's going to change. Anybody else?
Oh, I was going to say, your play-by-play man, Joey McMurray, is a new father now.
I saw him the other day, and he said that any day now. Did they have boy, girl? Boy.
Any fatherly advice for him, raising a newborn?
No, but I hope he looks like Mom. So.